Today, we're not going to talk about rocket propulsion or complex orbital mechanics. Instead, we're heading hundreds of thousands of miles away from Earth to uncover a story that is just profoundly, deeply human. So let's get into what really happened on that incredible journey.
Okay, so the heart of this whole thing, it really starts with an announcement. A moment of just raw, unfiltered emotion broadcast from the absolute emptiness of space all the way back to us here on Earth. Just stop and think about that phrase for a second. Through tears. Here you have a mission specialist, a highly trained astronaut on a historic flight, and he's overcome with emotion. That tells you right away this wasn't just some procedural update from orbit. No, this was something incredibly personal.
Now, to really get the weight of this moment, you first have to understand the journey they were actually on. So let's take a quick look at the mission that served as the backdrop for this incredible tribute.
Yeah, Artemis 2 is not just some routine flight. This is a huge, monumental step in getting humans back into the lunar environment. These astronauts, they're true pioneers on a really high-stakes mission, which honestly makes this moment of personal vulnerability and connection even more powerful. And that brings us from the grand scale of the mission right down to the people themselves, the humans inside the spacecraft, and the very personal story that's right at the center of this whole gesture. At the heart of it all is astronaut Reed Wiseman. He's a veteran on this historic flight for sure. But, beyond his professional title, he's a person who, like every single one of us, carries his life, his experiences with him, even into the vastness of space. And get this tribute wasn't for some famous scientist or a historical figure. No, the crew made a choice to honor someone who was deeply important to one of their own, Reed Wiseman's late wife. They decided to literally etch a personal memory onto the face of the moon.
So let's really break down the gesture itself and what it tells us about the powerful, powerful bond between these astronauts.
It's a fair question, right? I mean, of all the things they could do, why this? Why put a name on a distant, silent crater? What's the significance?
Well, a name on the moon is permanent. It's a tribute that will literally outlast all of us. And it's such a profound symbol of solidarity, right? It shows a crew that supports each other on a deeply emotional level. They basically turned a geological feature into a landmark of love and memory. And this brings us right back to Jeremy Hansen's emotional delivery. See, his tears weren't just for his crewmates' loss. They were a sign of a collective decision, an act of empathy that was shared by the entire crew. It was a group of people together saying, "Your story is our story. We're in this with you." So, what is the lasting legacy of this one small act? Well, in the mind-boggling vastness of space, this moment created a very real, very human point of light. Space exploration has always been about pushing the boundaries of technology and human endurance. We all know that. But this tribute reminds us that it's also about carrying our humanity forward. We don't just leave our hearts behind on the launch pad. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question, doesn't it? This crew used their incredible journey to honor a personal love story. So as humanity ventures further out into the solar system and maybe even beyond, what other parts of our experience, our art, our struggles, our joys, what will we decide is worthy of being etched into the cosmos forever?